Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you can take my money.
Oh, yeah, take my money every time. That was awesome!
I know! I told you, the Existential movie theatre, it's fantastic, isn't it? We can keep up with all of the new releases without ever having leaving the Delirium.
I couldn't believe they already had Deadpool and Wolverine there.
I know.
Yeah, great.
It was fantastic, it's got to be said. It was pretty cool.
So worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And when they did the thing...
With the...
Yeah. Oh, that was...
I didn't see...
No, I know! I know! I mean, that was just like, yeah. If they keep going on this track, then, you could overlook Phase 4, and we can...
we could move past this, possibly.
Possibly.
If they can keep it up.
That's the thing, if they can keep it up.
Yeah.
Although, I must admit, I did have a thought about halfway through. Well, I mean, obviously, they reference the Void, don't they? The Void?
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't make that connection.
Does that mean we're in the MCU? That would be so cool.
Oh, wait. The Void.
Uh-huh. What?
Does that mean Asmodel can get near?
Maybe movies. Hello, I am Willie Shafter, and this is In the Rear, where we discuss all things Chris Rea.
And I am Sam.
Help me! that's the bit that he missed. Hello there, hi, my name's Max.
Oh, my name is Sam.
This is Maybe Movies, where we mess around with a couple of fabulous films, all in the sake of entertainment.
Pure entertainment.
And just a little bit of movie and character analysis, tangentially thrown in as well.
Yeah, but that's just gravy.
It is gravy, yes. Yeah. Can you hear?
What?
Oh.
Eh? Oh.
They've given us the name of the show.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
We must have done something right.
I hope so.
Yes. Yes, before we forget.
I need a star. Let me just find my page.
While you're doing that, just a quick reminder for anybody who missed the pitch meeting a couple of weeks ago. So this month we are messing around with Inspector 71, otherwise known as Dirty Harry, and also with the Demolition Man himself,
John Spartan.
Yes. But we are doing this one as a villain swap, so we'll be swapping Simon Phoenix, we'll be dragging him back to the early years of the 1970s.
That's interesting.
While casting Scorpio from Dirty Harry forward into the 21st century. And we decided last time that we were going to be looking at the earlier one first. So
yeah,
Demolition.
do it by the timeline, that's right, yeah. So it'll be Demolition Harry, yes?
It is going to be Demolition
That's our
Harry.
movie this week.
Which, again, so nice and simple, we are simply dragging Simon Phoenix back to the early years of the 70s, maybe with some big hair.
Big hair, yes.
Although I did think, again, we'll see as we go, I did think there may be a way through the film that we can have him try and hide in plain sight, and so he changes his hair to the hairstyle that we see.
Could be. But also, I want to see Wesley Snipes with a huge bleached afro. Golf ball!
Again, I don't really watch a lot of football. I remember somebody showing me he was a Dutch player from the 80s, Valderrama.
I don't remember.
He was...
really?
First things first.
Yes.
Before we leap into Act 1.
Yeah.
In terms of MO. Very much Scorpio is a one-man band.
Uh-huh.
Simon Phoenix likes an entourage.
He does, yes. He likes minions.
Yes. Do we factor that in? I was looking at it, I was trying to think, do we include that in this? But my problem with that is that we may end up making him too remote and we don't see enough of him. If we have him the crimes in the film initially perpetrated by his minions.
Right, no, I was thinking that we would kind of do it the other way around. So we start him off on his own, and as he goes along, he escalates and draws in minions and things like that. So initially it'll just be him, then things escalate.
Fantastic.
Otherwise, we won't have an excuse to use Jesse Ventura.
Oh, okay, yeah. I must admit, I just assumed he would have been staying in the future, but that makes sense.
No, because
but that does make sense.
We agreed that the Scorpio is a loner.
Yeah, exactly. No, that does make more sense.
If we're going to use Jesse Ventura, here's where we use him.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Also, Jesse Ventura versus Clint Eastwood. Think about it.
Yeah.
Could be entertaining.
It could be.
Just for future acts.
I'll make a note of that, because I didn't think about that. Just made a few notes of a few kind of key character points with regards to Simon Phoenix. As obviously, we know he's a psycho, and we know that obviously he's a sociopath as well. He's megalomaniacal.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
There's a bit when they were first reviving where he's speaking Spanish. Now, I don't know whether that's something that he knew already or if that's some part of his conditioning.
I'm not sure. Of course, it's open to interpretation, but my reading was it was part of his training.
Okay. He has heterochromia.
Yes, I didn't realise that.
I didn't
until very recently, watching it back. I was like, oh my god, there he is.
He likes some Colombian marching powder.
Cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
Oh, yes, he does.
And I like the motif of the skull-headed knife, the knife with the skull head on the pommel.
Oh, I missed that.
You only see it right at the start. Mm-hmm. It's what he uses to
stab the barrels with.
Yes,
of course. When we're talking about his MO, he is an agent of chaos.
Yes.
Introduce a little anarchy.
Even when he makes rules, he immediately breaks them whenever it suits him.
Mm-hmm.
He is absolute pure chaos.
Yeah.
Now, Scorpio is a bit chaotic, but he's got a plan. I don't feel like Simon Phoenix, at least at the beginning, has a plan. He just wants to cause trouble.
So I was looking at this and I was thinking, rather than him blackmailing the city for money, maybe because he has that whole territory that he's claimed as his own in LA.
Because it's all our turf.
Well, you see, now hang on a minute. This is where we have to discuss this. Are we assuming that Simon Phoenix is the same Simon Phoenix that starts Demolition Man with already having an army of minions?
No, I'm thinking that that's his end game.
Inevitable.
Yeah. So right. Okay, that's good because that's where I was going.
Because my thinking was rather than blackmailing the city for money, he's blackmailing the city for land. I want this district. It's completely
well, that's
off the wall.
More or less what he says at the beginning of Demolition Man, isn't it? I told them. The mailmen got it. The police got it.
But I think in this one, rather than him wanting a big bag of cash when we get into Act 2, it's like he wants the title deeds to this area, this Bay Area of San Francisco.
Okay.
So
that sounds cool. Yeah. That sounds cool.
Because I did think with our opening, so obviously we get the Roll of Honor opening the film.
Yeah. In, what did I call it? Oh no, it's in the Line of Duty.
But I thought with the girl on the rooftop, he's much more confrontational. You get her swimming with that really nice piece of music, and then you see it from underneath the water as she's swimming along back to the surface, and he's just stood there.
But on the rooftop with her.
On the rooftop by the edge of the pool.
Okay, yeah, cool, all right.
I looked at it two different ways, and the one that I prefer is actually he grabs hold of her. Simon says "fly" and throws her off the roof. Because that's going to get attention.
That's chaos. That is chaos. Yeah. I was at one point I was going, is that a little bit too much to do really quickly? But no, this is Simon Phoenix. This is the agent of chaos.
Yes.
This is where we go. You're right. Splat.
And then leaves a note or whatever up there. But this is the other point I was going to ask. Does he leave a note there? Again, he's a lot more public. Does he send the note straight to the press? Claiming responsibility for the crime?
Yes, he does, but we'll use the motif. So the motif is Simon Says.
Oh, of course, in the note, yeah. Simon says you need to do this.
Yeah, well, Simon says no swimming on the
roof. Yeah, nice.
It would be the first line of the letter.
Yeah, because again, we can still keep that bit where Harry turns up at the crime scene in the street, and then we still get the bit where he goes up the building and he's looking around, obviously where the pool was and things like that. So we keep those beats of the original film.
Yeah. Does he make multiple demands right at the beginning? Or is it just Simon Says no swimming on the roof?
I think because the opening letter does start with him asking for the cash, so I think I want this area of the city. Actually, no. I think you're right. In this context, I think it should be just a random crime. This is his overture.
Yeah.
This is opening night, and Loki, he's a full-tilt diva.
And then keep people waiting for what happens next, because it increases the terror. But you haven't...
No, I'm just like... On one hand, you could just have the note, like, Simon says, no swimming on the roof, blah, 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 Simon Phoenix, whatever. Or you could have, Simon says, no swimming on the roof. Tomorrow, Simon says, no cops in downtown, or no buses in the Height. The note is like, I did this, and tomorrow I'm going to do this. That's a little bit Scorpio's memo. We're trying to build tension here, right? Yeah. So we want to, a thing is going to be a thing.
Absolutely. So I was thinking that it was going to be, rather than it's either going to be a Negro or a Catholic priest.
Uh-huh.
Possibly using the parlance of the time purely for setting the scene of the movie. Probably something like... I mean, it could still be a Catholic priest, but it could be either a Jew or it might be a queer.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not like Simon is right on in any way, but I don't get the impression that he had any particular animosity towards his own kind.
No.
So why would he pick...
Exactly.
No. It would be someone else. It would be some other prominent thing, like you say, a Jew or a...
And again, I was using
a Jew or a Spick or a...
Exactly, yeah. Again, as we say, using it in the parlance of the time.
Yeah, in the parlance of the time, we are not endorsing any of these attitudes or words. So that's our opener.
That's the opening, but that takes us right through to the mayor's office with the letter and everything. I mean, what we can say is that he sent it to the press. The press have shared it with the mayor's office, and they're trying to get the press to restrain them from publishing it?
Yes, because I think that plays more into Simon's chaotic nature and the effect that he's having on the city just beyond the police.
Exactly, yeah. Because it's causing headaches for them because they're having to try and smooth things over with the press who are demanding their forthright amendments and things like that or whatever.
Our next sequence is, let's get a hot dog.
Yes.
Do you feel lucky, punk? Which... let's be honest, feels like it's going to play out the same. It's
going to play out the same way. The only thing that I thought that possibly could be added into that, but again, it may be too early. This was coming back to the idea of, does Simon have an entourage? Simon says, I guts to know.
I like it. I like it. It's cheeky as hell. Yeah, have one. Yeah, no, I like that. That's nice. Layer it in and, because like at first it seems like it's a guy acting on his own and then suddenly, oh, hang on a minute. We haven't told the press about that yet.
Exactly.
How did you know to say that? Is there a bigger conspiracy? Yeah. Immediately escalating.
Because that guy, Albert Popwell, he's a friend of Clint Eastwood's. He's in all of the Dirty Harrys, I think.
Is he really?
In some part or other, he turns up.
I recognised him. I recognise him from old movies.
He goes and sees the their insert for the Black Panthers in Magnum Force.
Yes, man, but I haven't seen that since 1983.
Well, the leader of those is the same actor. It's the same guy. And again, he's definitely in Sudden Impact and The Enforcer.
Oh, right.
I can't remember if I forgot to look for him in
the Deadpool.
In the Deadpool, yeah.
Forgive me, but going back to what we were talking about earlier, is that where the name comes from?
What, the Deadpool? Quite possibly, yeah.
Because it's the only other reference I have to that name.
Yeah, because the Deadpool in that is it's all set on a film set, and the members of the crew are playing a list. They have to make a list of a number of celebrities that they think are going to die soon.
Well, that is the same thing.
Which is the same thing in Deadpool. They've just translated it into the list of mercenaries.
So it is a direct reference.
Yeah.
Oh! I didn't realise that. Oh, there you go. Sorry, random tangent, guys.
But keeping it topical.
Yeah. Alright, so he's been shot in the leg, goes to see the doctor.
Yes, which is then when we get to the bit with the choppers, and obviously him getting Chico as the partner.
Yes. Which, again, it's all independent of what Simon is doing, so that's just going to happen, isn't it?
We then get the abortive attempt to shoot somebody outside
near the church.
Apparently that's Washington Square as well.
I figured it was somewhere particular in San Francisco, but me not being familiar with the area, I wasn't sure.
It's annoying because it'd been so long since I'd seen that area that when I went to San Francisco, I forgot to go and have a look at all of these places.
Oh, right, okay. Hang on a minute, no, because that's Scorpio.
I know. I'm thinking...
So we have the bit with new partner, meet Chico. What is Simon going to do next?
I was thinking car bomb outside the church.
Just a car bomb or car bomb and something?
I think it's the middle of the day, there's people wandering around. I think just the car bomb will be enough. But it's just how it gets stopped. That's the bit that I wasn't too sure about. I do think we keep the bit and we keep the guys in the helicopter. If whatever's going on is on street level, we just make sure that the guy who's spotting in the helicopter has binoculars so he can see better.
Yes, you. Stop what you're doing.
I understand what you're saying, but on one hand, we do need to constantly escalate Phoenix's behaviour.
My other take then was something less than that, but when he comes back later when we do the Jesus Saves bit, that's when he turns it into a car bomb, because it'll have more effect at night.
I understand what you're saying there, but you got ahead of me. One way we could do it is that the helicopter spots Phoenix interfering with the vehicle in some way, and so they call out, they cause a panic, and then in the midst of the panic, as people are running away, then the vehicle explodes, but because people are running away, there are no serious injuries, but we still get the chaos.
We still get the chaos, and we still get his frustration that he didn't do as much as he wanted to. Taking away all of the efforts of a brother and all this kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep, okay. Yeah. That's a nice middle. Serves both. You know, it's a nice integration there. Yeah, definitely. And that means we've got a definite, positive idea of him, which then takes us into stalking or scanning the streets and Hot Mary.
Do we need it to be as big of a sequence here as it is? Is it important?
For Dirty Harry, it's an important thing because it maintains that procedural, very realistic element of the Dirty Harry film.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we need to see Harry being Harry.
Yeah. If they're going to be saying we're looking for a guy with a big blonde afro, they're not going to be a dime a dozen in San Francisco even at that time.
I'm sorry, did you not hear of the perm in the 70s?
Okay. Yeah.
And then we get the jumper.
Yeah, again, there's no reason for that to be different unless we want to...
Well...
Are you thinking tying him into it as well? Again, I was a bit worried about this. I don't know whether if too much continuity might detract a little bit.
We could do this one of two ways. I mean, we could just play it out as it is. Or you could have the bit when he gets up to the roof and it's like, he told me my kids would die if I don't.
Tangentially, it's similar to what they do in the third episode of the original series of Sherlock, where they properly introduced Moriarty, and they had the people with the explosive, and they were calling them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
they'd been coerced into doing this. So similar kind of thing to that. As I said, my only concern was if we make, because part of these things is to show that the other crimes that happen in San Francisco that he deals with, and as we've already included that in the first one.
You're right. Maybe I'm diving too deep into a...
That's why I was tentative about suggesting it.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting carried away.
Again, it's no problem, because I did think of it as well, but I thought at least one of these should be a completely independent incident. And this one that properly says, every dirty job is the perfect one to do that with.
Yeah, it is.
And then we get Charlie Russell. Just a little boy.
You actually picked that up. Wow, well done to you. Again, how does this play? Because this is Simon Phoenix. Is it more public? It's going to be more. Because everything about Phoenix is a public statement. Whereas Scorpio is like mostly talking to the cops and the mayor and stuff, if you know what I mean.
Sorry, I've had a horrible idea. I'm sorry, I can't even...
No, go. Tell me your horrible idea.
I was going to say we go for another bomb. It's a bomb in a lunchbox and it goes off at the school. Sorry if you've got kids, I'm really sorry. That's a terrible thing for me to suggest.
Yeah, all right, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, sorry, folks. But, I mean, look, the original movie's got moments in it, like, when you actually look at it in context, really grim.
Yes, they do push the envelope a bit for the time.
They do push it's just subtle. They don't shove it in your face. It's just a couple of little details, like, and you think about them, and you go, oh my God.
Yes, and so this should reflect that.
Yeah.
To the nth degree because of the person we're dealing with.
So I agree. Lunchbox bomb it is.
Yes.
Because the last one didn't kill anybody.
So this one, and to ramp it up, it's going to be a schoolyard full of kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's our Act 1, isn't it?
Welcome to Homicide.
Yes. So start of Act 2, I've got North Beach. What was North Beach?
North Beach?
Yeah, they mentioned, it's one of the areas that they mentioned. Seen around the North Beach area.
No, North Beach is the area that they leave unobserved so that he can come in.
That's right, of course.
Yes, it's the whole, they're talking about the police plan and there's that one quadrant.
That's what it is, yeah. Which takes us back to Washington Square, doesn't it? Because it's the same church, isn't it?
Well, it does if we're following this plot.
Yes.
At this point, we're starting to explode the plot. Do you think he's going to go back there, or...
I suppose the question is do we think Simon Phoenix is clever enough to think that the police will think that he will go back there, in which case he sets something up while he does something somewhere else?
Second one.
Yeah.
Simon's clever.
Yeah.
You know, he shows that even in the very beginning of Demolition Man. He's clever at manipulating people.
Smarter than the average bear.
Yes, he is.
Oh, we can tie this in quite nicely if you like, then. Oh, I don't know, though. Well, it could be. So we could almost run that scene through the same way. They're on the rooftop, but instead they're watching the church. But he sends somebody up on one of the adjacent rooftops with a Schmeiser. Where he got the Schmeiser from, who knows? But
so a double-headed sting. He'll
yes.
attack them, but he'll still go and do something somewhere else.
And again, the other thing that, obviously, while that is going on, is he grabs the girl.
Yes.
If we want to keep that in there.
Yeah, we should, certainly. Hang on a moment. Let's just think about this. So, like, he's doing a double-headed sting. So he sent one of his goons.
Stop it. Stop it. You're rude.
Are you thinking naughty things again? Stop it! Right, so he sent one of his goons to stake out their stakeout.
Yeah.
Whilst he's doing something elsewhere in town, which is where he's going to end up snatching the girl. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. They don't have a fruitless stakeout. They get attacked on their stakeout. Are we going to do like a cut scene where they're under fire, and then meanwhile across town or wherever Phoenix is, he's doing his thing? So we see him being clever. Do we want to see him being clever?
I think we need to bring him in a bit more now, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely. Do we start now seeing that the people that he has working for him, they've all got, even if it's like a wig, or they've got a perm done, so they've all got the almost like, the people who follow the Joker all dye their hair.
Yeah.
They've all got the big blonde afros. Is it too much?
It feels like it's two warriors.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can see where your brain is coming from, but I think we're two warriors here.
Okay, but this one it'll be up on the roof. Simon says, "Die, pig."
Yeah, exactly. It'll be some sort of actual signal, but
fantastic. He does something across the way. Maybe there's like I don't know, a fair or something, and he does something there.
Yeah, that's a nice set piece. Kidnaps a girl off the Ferris wheel.
Oh, I was going to say kidnaps a girl off the Ferris wheel while he's getting away, but I was going to say he does a thing where he blows up the moorings for the Ferris wheel, so it sends it rolling through the fair. Is that too big though?
I think that's a third act thing.
Yeah, it is. It's too...
I think that's a third act thing. I kind of like the idea, like, a girl on her own gets on the Ferris wheel, and at the last second he jumps into her carriage just as it's clamping, the little bar clamps down.
Yeah.
And he's just like that, and just like, yeah, you're coming with me, bitch. Or whatever, whatever he says.
With regards to this, I know we'll come back to it at the end of Act 2. And I know when you look through the list of crimes in Demolition Man and things that he does obviously notice amongst his crime, rape is amongst his crime.
And they do specifically say it in Dirty Harry.
They do. I have no problem believing Scorpio would rape him, but do we think Simon Phoenix would?
I think something like that is best left up to the imagination of the viewer. Being explicit about any of this is going to be a little controversial and distasteful, because even in Demolition Man it's just on a list of crimes, so I think living up to the imagination.
Agreed. I did wonder then on the next bit, obviously, when we get the next note, kind of a nod back to Demolition Man. It might be going a bit too far though. Instead of a tooth, is it an eyeball?
Superstar DJ Eyeball Paul.
Or a finger, or something a bit more visceral.
A finger.
Yeah.
A finger would be somewhere in the middle. Eyeball's too gruesome. I think finger, because it's not Demolition Man.
No, it's not.
1970s, a finger in a box is...
If we wanted to scale it down one stage further but still have the same impetus, would be to take a leaf from The Big Lebowski, and it's a toe.
Hell, I'd get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish.
Yeah. Anything like that, really. Yeah, will work. But I think the letter now has to be everybody stays out of X place.
Yes.
Pick a neighbourhood.
But he still wants those deeds. That's where we get the Bagman bit.
Yeah. But it's nobody comes into this territory, and I want this. I want the deeds to these properties of Block X to Y.
Yeah, and then we still get the bit with getting the earpiece and stuff. And this section, I think, is gonna the actual doing the delivery run.
This is where it starts to get very wobbly, because. Even compared to Scorpio, Simon Phoenix does not play fair. He kills people on a whim, a literal whim. This is where it starts to get very wobbly. He's got the opportunity to put his hands on Callahan. Alright, okay. Are we going to say it sort of plays out the same way that he does the running around the docks and things like that? Up until we get
I had an idea for this.
Okay, go on.
I am borrowing from Demolition Man. But I just think it would be a lovely set piece. Is that when he gets to the big cross, the ground is covered in gasoline.
All right, that kind of plays into exactly what I was saying.
How this scene plays out, but ultimately what I'm going for is part of the cross is covered in gasoline, so we get this massive flaming cross in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I understand. But that sort of plays into exactly what I was saying. Simon Phoenix has his hands on Harry Callahan. Tell me why he's going to survive.
Because Chico turns up and shoots him, or shoots at him, and draws his attention, which is enough time for Harry to pull out the his flick knife and stab it into his leg.
We just do it amongst all the flames.
Yeah.
Okay, set piece.
I
can buy that. I can buy that.
It could even be he's taunting him, obviously with the cigarette. He's going to drop it as he's kicking the crap out of him. That's when Chico turns up and starts firing. He starts firing back, and then when Harry stabs him in the leg, the cigarette falls out of his mouth. That's what sets the fire.
And we get the fiery set piece.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I buy that. I buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
I did put down mask or no mask, but it's Simon Phoenix, no mask.
No mask, no, yeah, he doesn't care.
So Chico gets shot, we don't see him now until Act 3, and then we go quickly to the doctors and then to the stadium.
We go to Bressler's office.
Yes.
This is Scorpio's timeline. What's Simon's timeline? What's he going to do next?
Rather than going to the doctors, he kidnaps the doctor and brings the doctor to him, and then it's a case of somebody from that surgery reports that the doctor's been kidnapped.
Yes, I like that a lot more. So he gets snatched off the street, as it were. You know, not necessarily literally the street, but gets dumped in the street. Mm-hmm. And so it's not them going, can you remember his name or whatever. It's can you remember where they took you? So let it be a detective-y moment.
Exactly.
Can you describe that and try and figure out where in the city he took him to?
Yeah.
And we need to escalate, so part of his story has to be, he's got like a dozen goons, he's got like 15 guys, whatever. Something like that. Like, we need to show escalation.
So this will then, again, if they know that and they identify that they've gone to the stadium, so are we going to get a proper raid?
But why are we going to the stadium?
It would seem like a nice place for him to hide out.
Would it?
Maybe one of his goons works there, and that's the nearest place for him to go to. Because we haven't actually set up a base of operations for him, have we?
Well, alright, okay, this kind of leads into where I was thinking.
I suppose if he now assumes that he owns this part of the city, that's where he would be.
Yes.
So he would be acting like this is where his megalomania starts to work against him. He starts thinking that he's almost won.
Yes, no, you're completely right. Like I said, that second letter, nobody comes into this place.
Yes.
Nobody comes out of that place. Blah, 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 blah. All of the rules. Mm-hmm. We have to establish those rules in the second act. So it's not a question of, is he in that part of the city? It's what building is he in?
Yes.
This is the bit. So he like the doctor gets dumped on the street, and it's Callahan, give me the details of what you remember when they took your hood off. What did they describe? All those bits, and have him figure out which building in the city he is. And this is ultimately where I was leading. He would end up in the building that he starts out in Demolition Man. It's just within that.
It's just we place it in
within that territory that he's declared off limits to the police.
I like that.
So we have Callahan being a cop to figure out. He knows he's in that neighbourhood.
Yes.
But which building? And that would replace the whole trying to remember where I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that.
Okay, so before we go into this next bit, I'm just going to stop and do a very quick shout out. So this one is going to be for our good friend, we haven't done one for a while. This one is for our good friend Richie from Richie the Foodie.
Oh, wow, it has been a while.
Yes, who has a wonderful channel, and he does a cooking channel. Very much more budget kind of meals and stuff that you can easily cook at home. I'm really bad, I'm sorry, dude. I'm really bad for actually finding the time to go and get ingredients to try half of the stuff. I have done a couple of them.
The number of cooking shows I watch and I go, I'll have to make that sometime. And I'm like, never.
But it's well worth it. Do check him out. Again, it's nice, simple stuff, and it is very much, for people who are on a budget and things. So, Richie, hope you're doing okay, buddy. And as always, thanks for all of your support.
Indeed, thank you, sir, and best of luck to you.
Are we going to replace the two men going into the stadium with a full-on assault on this place?
Well, you see, this is the thing. In the original plot, Scorpio gets captured.
Now, where's the girl?
Fuck you!
I do not see Simon Phoenix allowing himself to be captured. So, I'm saying we need to throw that script out the window and think about what Simon Phoenix would do, not what Scorpio would do.
Oh, and this is where we bring in Jesse Ventura.
Payback time.
Have you met my bodyguard?
Yes. Yeah, big dude.
Yeah.
What do we get a big fist fight with Clint Eastwood and Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Yeah. Have it. Have it.
Have it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. It's done like a proper police raid.
Yeah.
They're going in, they're going to take him out. That means we can whittle down some of his minions. And when they finally get to the final where he is...
But not all of them, because we still need more for the third act. Of course we do.
But also I think that the point is that by this stage he's making so many waves, people are starting to flock to his banner.
Yeah.
So we can afford to lose a fair few.
Yeah.
Because we can just replace them.
Yeah, we can lose some goons, but we want to have a core 3 or 4 at the end. Hang on a minute. Let me think about this for half a second. Yeah, we do. We need a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
But as I say, I think he's created enough waves now that others will join him.
Yeah.
So we can have almost like an inexhaustible... We can have as many as we need in Act 3.
Well, actually, I don't think we need loads.
Okay.
I think we need maybe 2 or 3.
That's
just to provide us a couple of moments of...
Yeah.
You know, because this is a different story. This is not Dirty Harry, it's Demolition Harry. And we need a bit more violence. But we don't need too much. We don't want to break Harry.
No.
I'm kind of imagining that he's got a cadre of somewhere between 6 and 12 goons.
Yeah.
And we're going to take away at least half in this bit here.
Working the process through, we need to remember to give at least a tacit nod to those elements of the procedural hell that Harry faces.
Literally, that's why I turned the page and went, ooh, yeah, we've got to think about that.
It will play more of a role in Act 3, but it's just we need to know what the actions are at this point that's going to run him up against the DA.
All right, hang on for a second, but how's this? So he takes down all of Phoenix's goons, including the high-level ones, but the core 2 or 3 goons, the way he took them down was completely against the rules, and they're going to be released immediately back out onto the streets to go back to Simon. So we've still got the similar
So we've still got the semblance. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't feel like Simon Phoenix works in captivity, so I don't want him to be captured. But his goons, absolutely.
How about this then? So rather than it being a full-scale raid on the Thing, it's Harry and a couple of other guys. If we're giving Phoenix more men on his side, we give Harry a couple of other officers that go in with him. So DiGiorgio and a couple of the others from Homicide.
Yeah.
It's the 4 of them that go in, so all of them have gone in illegally.
Yeah.
And that's what means those that are captured, they have to release them.
The goons that go down are dead, therefore not prosecutable, etc. But that 3 or 4, whatever we decide they are, of the primary goons, of course, one of them will be Jesse Ventura, which will be the final 5.
I was about to ask, yeah.
They get taken down, but they get taken down illegally because it was all illegal to begin with.
Fantastic.
But Phoenix gets away because Ventura fought so hard. It gives Phoenix enough time to get away, so we never have to explain why Phoenix gets out of custody.
And again, we can still get a equivalent of the bit in Stadium when he's torturing Jesse Ventura to find out where the girl is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he still has to do that bit.
Yeah.
So we still get the bit with the dead girl, and then we get the bit in the DA's office with, that is all shit, it's completely admissible.
Oh, well, I had that as the start of Act 3.
Sorry, yeah, no, I'm jumping. This is Act 3. Sorry, folks, yeah, we're jumping. That's the end of Act 2.
It is. Act 3. I've got some ideas.
Okay, good, because I'm really feeling bad about this. It doesn't feel like we've gone far enough.
No, it doesn't, but I think I know how we possibly change this around. It will make it for a lot more punchier and shorter third act, certainly as part of the setup, but we can possibly back end that by extending things towards the end. So my thinking is this: we get our opening bit, the same bit where he goes to the DA's office.
Yeah.
And he gets his meeting with the DA's, it's an illegal arrest, all of these guys need to be released, yada yada yada.
He starts tailing him.
Oh, that's the bit I'd forgotten about. No, because what I was going to seed in at this point is that the majority of his henchmen are probably from the black community, so all of this is increasing tensions between the black and the white community.
Okay,
we're building towards possible civil unrest.
Keep going, yeah.
Okay. But obviously, who's he going to be turning? Is he going to tell Jesse Ventura?
Sorry, what?
Because he said, because obviously he can't be turning Scorpio.
Of course not. Yeah, not Scorpio, Simon.
No. This is what I mean. I think it may end up with a shorter third act, because
we have him tailing Jesse Ventura.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. That's the obvious play in this situation. We've got Jesse Ventura. We're using him. We've used him. He's had a big fight. Now we
Yeah.
We're using him again. So no, this is good. This is
okay,
good.
we want to keep this. And obviously we still get the bit with Chico, when he goes to visit him in the hospital, all of that kind of stuff.
You know, well, wait.
Oh, that's later.
Let's wait, yeah. This is the bit when he goes and gets the official beatdown so he can have a press conference.
I think we lose that. What I think happens possibly instead is we still use that same actor that he goes to see for the beatdown, but we have him attacked by a mob of white people, so we go almost full riot leading into the finale of Act 3.
Wait, so you're... Forgive me for saying this, but I think it's the correct in the context of the time. You're talking about going full Black Panther with this.
Yeah. So a load of white guys beat up that black guy. We just use the same actor as the guy who beats up Scorpio in the original, because it's racially motivated violence. Tensions start to rise, and then we use that as a backdrop for the final act, which then maybe causes unrest in the city itself, as a result of which the school bus has to take a route that takes them into Simon Phoenix's controlled area to avoid the riot.
Take a star. Take a star. And that sets us up for the final confrontation.
Yeah. So it's not so much
right,
that...
okay, so he takes the bus. Let's skim past that.
Yeah.
This happens. Racial unrest, riots. It's the end of Police Academy.
Good call.
I understood that reference.
And because of this, the school bus is diverted and ends up in the wrong neighbourhood.
Yeah.
Simon and his goons take the bus hostage.
Yes.
That sounds like a brilliant setup for our conclusion. I love it.
So all we now need to decide is obviously what message he sends to the mayor about that, to let them know that he's got them. We don't have to. I mean, it could just simply be they've taken a school bus, alright, I'm going after them. But if you want to keep that element of they're going to capitulate to his demands, maybe he demands a bigger area of San Francisco.
That's an interesting one, because on the base of it, Phoenix, because we know he does, would just take them hostage and go, I told you. Or he could go, because you've done this.
No. So that's it. No. You can have one, because you've just given me an idea, but I wouldn't have got it if you hadn't have said that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's what he does. I've got them. So the mayor's office are trying to figure out ways that they can capitulate to demands that Phoenix hasn't even met yet to try and get the school bus back, which still allows Harry to say his thing about when are you going to stop playing around with this guy and go off and do his own thing.
Yeah.
He's got them in such a tiz. They're now looking for some way to appeal to him. He's already won, essentially, even though he hasn't made any official demands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's when Harry just goes, nope, I'm off, and he goes off and does his thing. Sending him in on his own?
I kind of feel like we've run out of people to send him in with.
Yeah.
I mean, we could send Giorgio in with him, if we want to.
Again, obviously, if the other films still exist after this, then he does have script immunity, because he's definitely in Magnum Force. But I think at this point, we've stepped beyond the bounds of Dirty Harry, we're stepping fully into Demolition Man, so I think he goes in on his own.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't see how this works.
How he's going to survive? Or...
Yeah. Phoenix is just that crazy.
This is a bit then, so we are going to have to kind of plot through how this is going to work. So I suppose the thing is, where are they? Are they still at the same location where they went earlier, or has he moved location?
Why would he move location?
Because they've already raided the place once, and you had to leave there in Act 2, which is where they picked up Jesse Ventura. So has he moved his base of operations?
See, oh god, this is just not working. Oh god, if he loses that, then why does he have so much control in the end?
It works. It works, but there's... Okay, let's play this back. He gets away.
Simon Phoenix has all of the advantage. Why would he not use it?
But we did say in Act 2 that most of them either get killed or taken, and the ones that get released leaves him with like 2 or 3 guys still on side.
I mean, we can play this out to a certain extent. We have those guys and they can have fights. But ultimately, when it comes to Phoenix, he's got all the cards, hasn't he?
Because of how we left Act 2, he got away from that situation, but it means he lost his base of operations, and he's got 2 or 3 guys with him. Yeah, but
he's got the hostages.
So maybe...
All right, let me put it another way. At the moment, the way I see things, there's a possibility where Harry survives, or there's a possibility where the hostages survive. But I I'm having difficulty seeing one where there's an actual happy ending. Maybe that's our ending. Because, like, at the end of Dirty Harry, he throws away his badge.
Yeah.
Maybe he does take a bad lose. He takes down Phoenix, but it costs.
But it costs the hostages.
If we were going to play for some deep notes, that would be where I was leaning.
I mean, the other option would be that because he lost his base of operations at the end of Act 2, and he's caused so much chaos in San Francisco, his next move is to bug out and let's go and do this somewhere else. Oh, fuck it, let's go to LA. So he's in transit with the bus, which would at least allow us to step back into some of the beats of the original film.
Yeah, but at this point, why are we doing that? Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Honestly, I mean, I've played it through several ways in my head, and the way I see it is like it's a one or the other. He can defeat Phoenix but not save the hostages, or he can save the hostages and possibly die.
So if we say the hostages are with his men, or the 2 or 3 that he's still got left.
Okay, again, why are we saying that? Why would he give up his advantage?
He's not with the hostages in Demolition Man. They're elsewhere.
They're in the building.
To hell with the hostages. This is between you and me.
They're in the building, but he's not physically with them. It could be that if anything happens to me, they're going to kill the hostages. We don't know whether the hostages are alive or not. First off, let's decide, where is this happening? Are we going to say this is happening out at the factory site where it is at the end of the film? I'm just talking about locale at the moment.
Well, again, you keep leaning back into the original plot of the film. We've left that behind.
I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way we can at least keep the locations in there, just so I can picture it in my head.
All right, okay. So you can if you use a because movie.
We haven't used one.
What's your because movie? How do we fix it?
I suppose the because movie then would be that this is their backup hideout. I don't know. No, that doesn't work because
I was going to say I don't know what difference that makes.
No.
I think I'm okay where there's an ending where it's a bittersweet ending.
Mm-hmm.
That still functions on a movie level for me.
It does.
It has a bittersweet quality to it that works.
Are they below us now as well?
Sounds like it.
It's the thing! From the void! It's come to get us!
Oh god, not Asmodel!
Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
There?
I'm just...
spilling things.
Spaffing tea all over myself.
So, alright, I'll grant you, we've got a because movie.
Yes.
How would you use your because movie?
I suppose what we need is some way to force Simon Phoenix out of his position of authority having the hostages.
Yeah.
He's playing off against having the hostages, having the riot. See, the only thing that I can think, but again, it's how you get that message out there, is that...
Okay. I know this is a very badly phrased way of saying it, but what if Harry is able to force the bus into a soft crash? Mm-hmm. So they lose the bus.
That would work. So again, it's actually similar to how he does it in the film, because he jumps off onto the bus, top of the bus.
Because then he would lose control of the hostages, and it would just be a showdown between Harry and him and whoever goons are left. Does that work?
Yeah, that would work.
Have to tell us if we're right, folks.
Ironically enough, it kind of puts us back onto...
Puts us more or less back at the factory.
Yeah. Maybe a goon gets taken out in the bus. When it crashes, the others run into the thing and he takes out one who's got the kids. We may lose a couple of the kids in the crash, or they may get maimed or something.
Figure we take out the terrorists, lose 20-25% of the hostages. Tops. I can live with that.
What a cooler ending. No, sorry, you're right.
So we say at this point, say it's Phoenix, Jesse Ventura, and say one other goon that make it to the factory. And then it's a game of cat and mouse through the factory as he takes out the remaining...
Yeah, you know what, you're right. I think it works. It does, by the skin of its frickin' teeth.
Yeah.
It works.
Are we going right the way through to the similar ending on the weir?
Well, kind of, we've ended up there.
Yeah.
We have ended up there, so I feel like we have to. Mm. You know, why waste a good scene?
Exactly.
Well, do you, punk?
And again, that scene... you could equally see Simon Phoenix grabbing hold of that kid in the same way that Scorpio does.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those moments.
Yeah. Last ditch, desperate effort. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. Obviously, he throws his badge in there.
Of course he does.
In the pond, in the river, in the lake, whatever that was. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the end of our movie. I wasn't sure we were going to make that one. I really wasn't sure we were going to make that one.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was a weird one to start with, because it was like... there's big bits of this where we, unless we do something, we don't have an antagonist because it's all the procedural stuff with Harry.
Yep. There was a bit, it was towards the end of the second act, and I suddenly realised I don't know where this ends. Yeah. I just don't know where this goes.
I think going large in the third act helped. Doing the thing with having a big riot and things like that. As cover for everything else.
And it's nicely topical for the period as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say I'm happy with that movie, but I can live with it.
Yes. Push the envelope a bit in a few places. Push the envelope in the same way that Dirty Harry does, but just dialed up a bit. Blowing up kids in a schoolyard.
Well, I have to see how the next one turns out.
Exactly. Yeah, that will be our next one. Is going to be Dirty Man, which sees John Spartan going up against a juiced up Scorpio in 2032.
Yes.
Lovely. And obviously all the stuff that happens before that.
Of course.
But that one is going to be coming your way next week.
Indeed it will.
And don't forget to check that one out as well, because we'll also be doing the poll from that one as well, but more about that next time. So, until next Friday, as always, look after yourselves and one another, and we'll see you then.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.